Have you ever stood at a crossroads in your life, so terrified of making the wrong choice that you made no choice at all? You stare at the two paths ahead, convinced that one leads to happiness and the other to regret, but you have no map. This feeling, this freezing, gripping anxiety, is the right path panic, and it's one of the most paralyzing experiences of modern adult life. As women, we are often sold a narrative that our lives should follow a certain trajectory. We're supposed to make the right choices about our career, our partners, our lifestyle. But when faced with a major life decision, this pressure can be crushing. It creates a panic that whispers, if you choose wrong, you will ruin everything. In this video, we are going to do a deep dive into the psychology of this right path panic. We will validate that feeling of being frozen and explore the 3 core beliefs that fuel our fear of making the wrong choice. We will unpack why this happens, how our culture amplifies the pressure, and most importantly, we will outline a clear, compassionate path to help you find your footing, trust yourself, and finally, take a step forward. The illusion of the one right path. The first and most fundamental driver of our panic is the belief in the one right path. This is a cognitive distortion, a myth we've internalized that suggests out of all the infinite possibilities for our lives, only one single perfect path will lead to happiness, and all others lead to failure. Imagine you're at your desk, staring at 2 job offers on your screen. One is for a stable, respectable company. It's the sensible choice your parents would love. The other is a role at a risky, creative startup that speaks to a passion you've long suppressed. You feel a wave of paralysis wash over you. Your mind starts racing, trying to calculate the future. You think, this is it. This is a defining moment. One of these is the right door, and the other is a trap. If I choose wrong, I'll be stuck and miserable, always wondering what if. The pressure feels immense, as if you're trying to solve a puzzle with only one correct answer. This is a manifestation of black and white thinking, or dichotomous thinking. Our brains, seeking to simplify a complex world, reduce an infinite spectrum of outcomes into 2 categories: success or failure. This illusion is amplified by the narrative structure of stories we consume. The hero always makes the one pivotal choice that leads to their destiny. We mistakenly apply this fictional logic to our own messy, unpredictable lives. Contrast with a healthy alternative. A healthy mindset replaces the idea of a right path with the concept of an interesting path. It embraces the truth that there are many different, valid ways to live a happy, meaningful life. The healthy alternative isn't about finding the perfect answer, but about making a thoughtful choice based on your current values and being open to wherever that path leads. It's the shift from I must not choose wrong to I will learn and grow from whichever path I choose. This desire to find the right path comes from a deeply human place. We want to minimize future pain and maximize our chances for happiness. It's a survival instinct. We are trying to protect our future selves. The problem isn't the desire for a good life, it's the rigid belief that there's only one formula to achieve it. This belief, intended to keep us safe, is the very thing that keeps us trapped in indecision. If left unchecked, this illusion leads to chronic indecisiveness. You can become so afraid of making the wrong move that you stay in jobs, relationships, or cities that you've long outgrown. The fear of choosing incorrectly paradoxically results in the quiet regret of never choosing at all. The weight of external expectations. The second force amplifying our panic is the weight of external expectations. This is the immense pressure from family, society, and our social circles to make choices that are legible and approved by others, choices that look successful from the outside, regardless of how they feel on the inside. You're at a family dinner. It's loud and warm, but you feel a knot of anxiety in your stomach. Your aunt leans over and asks with a well-meaning smile, "So, are you still doing that little freelance thing? When are you going to find a real, stable job with benefits?" You feel your face flush. You try to explain that you love the freedom and creativity, but you can see the look of concern and gentle disapproval in her eyes. In that moment, your own confidence wavers. You start to see your life through their eyes, and the path you've chosen suddenly feels flimsy, foolish, and wrong. As social creatures, we are deeply attuned to the risk of disapproval from our tribe. Our sense of self is powerfully shaped by the reflections we see in the eyes of those we love. When their expectations for us clash with our own desires, it creates intense cognitive dissonance. We are torn between the need for authenticity, being true to ourselves, and the need for approval, maintaining harmony with our family or community. The healthy alternative is not to reject your family or culture, but to develop a strong internal locus of evaluation. This means your self-worth and the validation for your choices come primarily from within, not from without. It's being able to hear your aunt's concern and think, I understand she sees the world differently and is worried for me, but I trust myself and the path I am on. It is the ability to love others without making their approval a prerequisite for your own happiness. These external expectations almost always come from a place of love. Your parents want you to be financially secure. Your friends want you to be happy in a way they can understand. They are offering you a map that has worked for them or for society. The pressure isn't necessarily malicious. The challenge is recognizing when their map no longer leads to the destination you want to go and having the courage to draw your own. Consistently prioritizing external expectations over your own internal compass is the fastest way to build a life that feels like a beautiful, well-decorated cage. You may achieve a version of success that earns applause from others, but you will feel hollow and disconnected from it because it was never truly yours to begin with. Let's just pause here for a moment. That pressure from the outside world is so real. I'd love to know, which feels heavier for you right now? The pressure to find the one right path, or the weight of what everyone else thinks that path should be? Let me know in the comments. The fear of future regret. Name and define. The third, and perhaps most emotionally potent driver, is the fear of future regret. This is not just about making a choice now, it's about being haunted by that choice forever. It's the anxiety of imagining your future self looking back on today with bitterness and thinking, you made a huge mistake. It's 2 a.m. You can't sleep. You're scrolling on your phone and see that an old friend from university just announced a promotion at a prestigious law firm. For a moment, you feel a pit in your stomach. You had the grades for law school, but you chose to pursue a less certain path in a creative field. Your mind is instantly flooded with what-ifs. What if I had just stuck with the original plan? I'd be making more money. I'd have that stability. You imagine a future version of yourself struggling and regretful, blaming your younger, more idealistic self for choosing passion over security. The fear feels so real, it's like a premonition. Our brains are prediction machines, and one of the things they are best at is affective forecasting, predicting how we will feel in the future. The problem is, we are notoriously bad at it. We tend to overestimate the duration and intensity of our future negative emotions, a concept known as impact bias. You are essentially being terrorized by a phantom emotion of a hypothetical future self that likely will never exist because you are underestimating your own future resilience and ability to adapt. The healthy alternative is to cultivate self-trust and what researchers call anticipated pride. Instead of fearing future regret, you focus on making a choice that your present self can be proud of, a choice aligned with your courage, your values, and your integrity. The goal is to be able to say, I don't know what the outcome will be, but I can stand by the person I was when I made this decision. This shifts the focus from an uncontrollable future to a controllable present. The critical lens, nuance, and counterarguments. A healthy dose of considering future consequences is, of course, a sign of maturity. It's wise to think about how a decision will impact your life in 1, 5, or 10 years. This fear only becomes toxic when it becomes paralyzing. It is the difference between prudent foresight and obsessive forecasting. A little fear of regret helps us make considered choices. A lot of it stops us from making any choices at all. Chronic fear of regret can lead to a life lived in the safe zone. You avoid all risks, passions, and opportunities for great joy because they also carry the possibility of great failure. You end up choosing the path of least resistance, which often becomes the path of least fulfillment, ironically leading to the very regret you were trying so desperately to avoid. This right path panic is amplified by our cultural context. In highly individualistic cultures, we are told you can be anything you want to be. While meant to be empowering, this paradox of choice can be paralyzing. The sheer number of options, combined with the immense pressure to forge a unique and authentic path, can make any single choice feel impossibly high stakes. In contrast, in many collectivist cultures, the right path is often more clearly defined by family and community expectations, a stable career, marriage, children, in that order. Here, the panic isn't about having too many choices, but about the profound fear of deviating from the correct one. Making a choice that prioritizes personal passion over familial duty can be seen as selfish, risking disapproval from the entire community. Both cultural scripts create their own unique version of the right path panic, but the root is the same: the fear of getting it wrong. So how do we escape this paralysis and learn to choose with courage? We can start by understanding our personal decision-making style and using tools that align with it. First, are you an analytical healer? Do you feel calmer with data and logic? Your tool is to externalize the decision. Create a values compass. Write down your top 5 core values, like creativity, security, community, or freedom. Then, score each choice against those values. This isn't about finding a winner, but about giving your logical brain a clear framework, shifting the question from "what is the right choice" to "which choice is more aligned with who I am right now?" Second, are you a creative healer? Does your wisdom come from intuition and feeling? Your tool is visualization. Spend 5 minutes vividly imagining your life 6 months down path A. Don't focus on outcomes, focus on the feeling. How does your body feel? Expansive and light, or tight and constricted? Then do the same for path B. Your intuitive, creative mind often knows the answer long before your logical brain does. Third, are you a somatic healer? Do you feel anxiety physically? Your tool is to calm your nervous system before you choose. When you feel the panic rising, stop everything. Place a hand on your heart and one on your stomach. Take 3 deep, slow breaths, making your exhale longer than your inhale. This simple act sends a signal to your nervous system that you are safe. You cannot make a wise choice from a state of panic. You must first return to a place of calm. A universal strategy for everyone is to run small experiments. You don't have to decide your forever career today. Can you take one small online class? Can you have coffee with someone in that field? Lower the stakes from a life-altering decision to a simple information-gathering experiment. The truth is, there is no one right path. There are only paths. There are paths you choose, paths you learn from, and paths you can always change. The right path panic is the fear that you have only one shot to get it right. The cure is the quiet, courageous belief that you are resilient enough to handle wherever the path takes you. Your life is not a single locked door that you must find the one key for. It is an open field of possibilities. The goal is simply to take one step and then another, guided by your own inner compass. If this resonated with you, please subscribe for more deep dives into the psychology of our lives. You are not alone on this path.